Hey everyone, J-Rod Plays here, and another week goes by and we make more progress on the ritual area. This week I was able to switch from solar to void, or at least add void attunement, and so this is going to be where they are at. So you got your void, this will be the arc, and here is the solar. And since I've been playing a lot of void lately, I've activated the void and deactivated the solar. We've also got two new arcana cards. These two cards are going to be here, the Lament, which is going to be rapidly defeating combatants, gives you a class ability cooldown, which is nice for the Briar build that I've got going on. And then from here, the Truth, which is going to be dealing damage, reduces grenade cooldown, and then you can stack that, of course, with something like this, the Demolitionist, Adrenaline Junkie, Unforgiven, and have a lot of fun there when you draw that card. So those are going to be the two new cards here, and you'll see on the table, I've unlocked pretty much all of it. There's still a few to go. There's going to be Liminal and the Lie left, and then one more Secret Triumph from probably like the last week or so of the season, maybe the last few weeks of the season. And then, as you can see, we're at 9 Major Arcana and 33 Minor Arcana, so 2 Major Arcana and 2 quests to go on there, and then 2 Minor Arcana, this one here, the Offering Shrine, which is really cool. That's going to allow you, if you go to the Altar of Summons, to head in there and combine your offerings so that you can spend the lower offerings that you never use and spin them up and convert them into the higher offerings, and you can also buy the higher offerings, very similar to the Blind Well, when you can go in from Petra, buy a bunch of the essences there. And so that's going to be a nice little change, a nice little consolidation that you can do. And then the next one that was important was going to be the Empowered Spire Crystals Void. So I guess it depends on your attunement each week. Last week I had the solar ones where you get restoration when carrying the solar crystals, which was really helpful when I was doing the legend. And then this one here just lets you shoot those void crystals through the barrier. You don't have to worry about going in the barrier, especially if you're on altars and you're doing the encounter with all the screebs and stuff, so that'll be an issue there that you don't have to worry about anymore. And we've got additional bounties. That's going to be another one. It's unfortunately not a repeatable daily bounty. That's what I was hoping, that we were going to get a repeatable daily bounty, but nope, it's just going to give you an additional bounty. It's going to help you get through your ritual table reputation and help you get to the reset sooner. So that way you can get the ship, you can get everything that you need. And of course, once you've on the reset, there's not a whole lot to wait for than Witch's Keys, and I'm always overflowing with Witch's Keys, so I've just left these here, and I'll pick them up once I've capped out, and I need them in the future. So that's pretty much it from the changes. Now I'm just going to go into the weekly portion of the quest, and we can kind of go in and explore how it's done. There's going to be some changes when it comes to the attunement. I was expecting the attunement to be the exact way that it was a couple weeks ago, but it's not the case. There's going to be a slight difference, and I'll show you the slight difference for each of the 3 attunements that you can have. So this week you're going to start out by being sent to the Holo Projector in the H.E.L.M, where you're going to meet up with Demaru, who's going to talk his normal noise. And once he's done talking trash, he's going to send you off into the throne world to go and attune at the ritual table. Based on what you chose last week, you'll have the other 2 options to choose from. Last week I chose solar. This week for me, I chose void. Now, once you actually have chosen void, it's going to send you down into the throne world with an objective that's going to lead you to one of the 3 lost sectors. I believe it's the arc as extraction. I was doing the void, so for me that was going to be sepulture. And then the last one would be solar at metamorphosis. And like I was saying earlier in the intro, that the way you get attuned changed this week. It's going to be the same as the prior week that we attuned. However, the difference now is that instead of just hitting the runes, you're actually going to have to hit them quickly before they reset. So you have to know where all the runes are, and then you just have to run around and tag them all before the time limit elapses from the time you hit the first rune to the time you hit the last rune. Once you've done that, you're going to see enemies spawning. The enemies, you take them out, and you're just going to move on and finish the lost sector. You don't necessarily have to, but then that's going to move into the next part of the quest once you've killed those enemies. Now for the extraction portion of the quest, if you're going to be doing the arc quest, that one you're going to fight all the way into the room where you have to activate the plates. And then to start the process, you're going to see to your right, there's going to be that first rune. Underneath the stair area, kind of where the first plate is the second rune. As you turn to your left by the cave entrance, where enemies spawn, is the third. As you cut across and you're on the other side by the other plate, you're going to see just to your right before you clear that, there's another one. There's one above that plate, the fourth plate. And then that's going to spawn the enemies, which is going to see the Rastborn ambush you. And then you're going to get a ritual circle, and then boom, you're going to move into the next part of the quest. Now in the Metamorphosis lost sector, you're going to go all the way into the back until you break out the hive crud that's blocking up the floor, and you drop down. As soon as you drop down, you're going to turn around behind you, and this is going to be the first rune. Again, make sure you're shooting it with the solar weapon. As soon as you look over the next section, slightly to the left, you're going to see the second rune. You're going to walk past the 2 other walls, and as you get to the back portion, when you hop over, there's going to be a rune above where you would shoot to go down. When you turn around, there's a second rune by the lantern, and then behind you there's a third rune. So you make a little rotation, and then you're going to get, again, the Rashborn ambush you, and you're drawn to the Surge of Power. Once you do the ritual, that'll move you into the next portion of the quest. Now for the Sepulchre Lost Sector, this is in the room where like a lot of the ogres spawn, and you're normally getting ready to fight the boss. Once you clear the room, you'll notice the big purple rune in the very center. Most people will start there at the large purple rune. From there, you're going to run a little bit of a circuit. So you're going to cut left. There's going to be a rune behind the wall just to your right. When you cut back across, there's going to be a rune on a pillar holding the small chalices, and you'll see that as you turn left here. Then you're going to go to your right, and there's going to be one on the back right wall as you round the corner. And the final one is going to be back on a small pillar with a statue on it in this case, and then that's going to spawn the enemies. Once you get all the enemies, you're going to get a ritual circle. From there, you'll just do the ritual. You can complete the Lost Sector if you want to again, but either way, you have attuned now, and then you can move on with the rest of the quest. Now from here, you're going to go back to the H.E.L.M, and you're going to visit Ikora, and once you visit Ikora, you're going to actually have a conversation with her and Sloane and Asa, surprise. And so from there, it's going to take you to the next step of the quest, which is going to be just a quick trip back to the H.E.L.M, back through where you came down into the plunge. You can go over to the holo projector, and then witness that conversation with Ikora and the holo projector. And then once you've done that, you're going to get a prompt to turn right around behind you to the radio and the H.E.L.M, and then you're going to listen to a conversation between Eris and Ikora, and the whole situation with Asa, which I'll include in the lore video. I'll have weeks, I believe, 2, 3, and 4 put together in one, since they were all kind of shorter weeks. Now, once you've reached this point, there's no more story to be had, and so you're going to get that portion of the quest that says Eris will contact you when she's ready. And it's at this point now that you can go around and collect all of the Arcana that you're able to collect with the new Attunement. So if you go into the Spire, there's going to be the 2 Void cards in the Spire. When you go to the Altar of Summons, there's going to be that 1 Void card in the Altar of Summons. And I'm going to link to the guides that I have showing you the additional cards, just in case you're on an Arc or Solar week and not a Void week like me. You can see all the locations of the elemental cards in Savathun Spire in this video, or you can go into the video where I have with the Altar of Sorrows, and you can see where the 3 Altar of Sorrow cards are for the elements there, and there's even a non-element card there to pick up if you haven't picked it up yet. And then from there, you can go back to the H.E.L.M and start collecting your cards and seeing what those cards do. And just to recap, when you're in Savathun Spire, the chest for the secret chest is going to be back into the location that it was in the first week, and so you're going to need Void and Solar to unlock the runes there, and I'll show you the path here. Once you're going through the chutes after this, that's where the first chest is located, and you'll see that as you get through the obstacles, you're going to enter a room with 3 swinging sensors that have spikes on them, and those, when you hop over them, you'll land and see that the very first symbol is being held by one of the statues in the room. And so the statues and the symbols, the way that they work is that you have to shoot them with the corresponding element, and so that could be anything from like heavy ammo to an energy weapon, and you can stagger your weapons if you want. After a while, I got kind of bored of having to always just go into my menu and switch between weapons. I was running 3 SMGs. I was running an Arc SMG as my primary on my Arc class to take care of Monochromatic Maestro, for example, and then I was switching between a Solar SMG and a Void SMG for the chests. Then I started running like a glaive, like a Void glaive, and a heavy Solar, and you can see that in the footage here. And so what I was doing was just glaving the first orb, and then you go up and you jump a little jumping puzzle. As you land, you'll see a barrier and then another round symbol above the barrier. You can shoot that with a Void, and then if you look down off to your right, what you'll see is another symbol, but this one happens to be Solar, so you have to either switch to your Solar, or in my case I just switched to my heavy and I shoot that. And then in the second chest, it's going to be the same thing, also Void and Solar, and this second chest is going to be after you've gone through the doors, after you've picked up the elemental card if you're Void. You're going to go through the double doors and complete the little mini jumping puzzle that they have there, and then hanging at the top you'll see the runes that you can shoot, and this is how you shoot the runes to unlock the next chest. And then once you've done those things, you'll have completed most of the bounties for this week. You can head back to the H.E.L.M, collect your Arcana, collect your new red border for this week. There's going to be another red border, Arcana, Minor Arcana, to give you a guaranteed red border. And once you've done that, you're pretty much set for the week, and that's it for week 4. I'll see you guys in the next weekly guide.